Hey guys, today on the show we're going to talk water and whiskey. Stay tuned. Now, some people will tell you it's a cardinal sin to add water to whiskey. Other people live by the idea of playing around and experimenting and doing that. Now, I'll say for the most part, I don't usually add water to whiskey. What I find in the mass production market, it doesn't need water. But there are two instances where I think it's probably worthwhile sometimes. And those are when it's cask strength or very high ABV, and when it's particularly young whiskey. Now, the reason being, obviously, if it's cask strength, you want to get bang for buck. It's an experience. It's not watered down at all, so that you can water it down to your liking. Figure out what you like best and drink it that way. And some people will just buy cask strength whiskey and drink it just like that. That's fine too. With young whiskeys, they can tend to be a little spritey, sometimes a little rambunctious, and a little bit of water can tame them some. Also, here's the thing. It doesn't just mellow the whiskey, it does actually change the flavors. It can change the aromas, it can change the flavors, it can highlight and accentuate certain things. So what I've picked for my experiment today is the elicit. I picked this because it's a particularly unruly spirit. It's bottled at cask strength, 58%, and there's no age statement, so it probably is a lot of young whiskeys in here. So it's got both of the boxes checked, and we're going to try it. I have a glass of straight or neat. I have a glass with 1 teaspoon of water and a glass with 2 teaspoons of water. Now, before we drink, let's go over what actually happens when you add water to the whiskey. So the water and the whiskey mix completely, right? It's not like with oil and water, they're going to not blend. It blends completely. And I like to think of it as like a molecular level game of pinball. So you drop in the water, and all of the compounds that have formed between the water and the whiskey at 58% or whatever it is, those get broken up and they start to, reorganize and latch onto the water molecules that have now been added. What that does is it tends to push the phenolic molecules and compounds out from the center. So high concentration alcohol keeps them in the center. When you lower the alcohol and add water, it pushes them out towards the edges, more to the top of the glass. They're more likely to evaporate. You can get more of the aromas and the scents that are in the spirit. Same thing with the flavor compounds. They're going to readjust. They're going to mix up. I wish I was a scientist and I could explain it to you better. You're not changing the chemical makeup, but you are changing the molecular makeup, and that changes the experience. Having said all of that, let's get to the fun part, shall we? So this is the elicit neat. It means man from Isla. It's very peated, and it's... Whew. Okay, so it does jump out with a little bit of ethanol. You mostly get like an ashy, wet, greasy peat. Yeah, it's mostly the earthy end of the peat. You get a little bit of the smoke, but for the most part, it's earthy, a little vegetal, greasy. Something that you will like if you like peat, but a little bit one note at the moment. Let's put that down, and we'll try glass 2. So this is glass 2. I believe it is actually chill filtered, so you may not see any Scotch mist appearing in the glass. All right, now I'm getting very light fruity notes. The smoke is a little bit more dispersed. It's not as ashy and dense. It's lighter, and there's some orchard fruits jumping out at me now. Maybe a little bit of like a graham cracker or something toasted. It is actually much nicer and more rounded. Let's go with number 3. This has 2 teaspoons of water in it. It's a substantial amount. Okay, now the toasted note is the heaviest. It's almost like golden grams, like toasted graham cracker. There's some vanilla, still getting the fruit notes. The smoke is almost moved to the background at the moment. Like it's definitely heavily peated, but it's not nearly as dense or like as centralized. It's more rounded out, mellow. This is actually a really nice nose. Yeah, this I think in terms of marketing, to the average person, this is going to be the most pleasant. I think they'd like this one the most. All right, let's try number 1 on the palate. You know what? Let's go in reverse order because I fear the high alcohol is going to numb it. So we'll start with number 3. I get vanilla. I get apples, some baking spices. Then comes a little bit of ash, char. The end is dry. It's nice. It still is, featuring peat. If you don't like peat, you're not going to like this at all. But there's some very mellow, nice vanilla, sweet notes, a little bit of fruit. This is nice. I like this. I like it a lot. Still, again, it's a substantial amount of water. It still is, it's got kick to it still. It's smooth going down, but like it's very drying. Like the peat and the ash flavor is no joke in this thing. Let's go to number 2. So this has 1 teaspoon. Yeah, it is a pleasant nose. I like it. Definitely more heavy on the char. There's like an umami note there, like a charred pork. There's some ash. Still very drying on the end, but this is good. This definitely has more bite to it. This is something substantial. I think at this level, like an experienced whiskey drinker that likes peat is going to very much enjoy this with a drop of water. It's very nice. All right. Now for the money shot. Woo, that is nothing but peat and alcohol. All right, let's try it on the palate. Surprising amount of cinnamon. Very cinnamon, very char, very smoky. Actually doesn't dry out my mouth as much as I thought it would. It's less ashy, more cinnamon char. Yeah, I guess the more water you add, it gets a little more ashy on the palate. And a little more like wide, billowy smoke, a range of peat on the nose. Yeah, this has a kick and a half though. Like, if you like peat, try this. I think you'll enjoy it, but I would add water. To drink this, like have an evening drinking it, you're gonna want to add water, I would think. Anyway, that's the show. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. As always, I'm Jason. This is It Was All a Dram. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and leave a comment down below. Let me know. Do you add water to your whiskey? Or do you just drink it neat? Tune in next time when I'll be reviewing something else. And until then, cheers.